I remember when I was in college, I would receive a handout from my professor on the first day of class. And as my classmates and I would sit there and thumb through, usually the first thing that would be handed out is a course outline with the grading policy. And we would see not only that you needed to get 90% or better to get an A, and 80% or better to get a B, 80 to 90, and so on, but we would also see the different elements that were going to be required of us in order to get those grades. And those elements might be homework, quizzes, tests, projects. I took a lot of science classes, so labs, and then a final exam. So we had about 6 things that we knew we were going to have to do well on in order to get those A's that we had hoped for. And then we also would see from time to time extra credit. So we knew that, man, if we're having a little struggle on the test, we might be able to do a little something extra to make up for that. Well, when it comes to managing a chronic disease like COPD, it's sort of the same concepts that you want to be considering. First off, we have things that are, I call essential. I'm using a lot of E words in this series. So we want to think about things that are essential. What do you need to do to get the best possible outcomes? Those things I'll call essential strategies. And then there may be some that are more on the edge, some extra credit. So those strategies you might want to do in addition to these essentials. So in this first video series, I'm going to take a video and talk about these elements of the essential strategies that will help you manage your COPD to the best possible level. As you watch the videos, I want you to be asking yourself 3 questions. And the 3 questions are, how well am I doing now? What do I do well in this area, in this strategy? Second, what could I do to improve? Okay. And then thirdly, where can I get support, or how can I put a structure or a system in place in order to better in the areas where I need to improve? Okay. So before I send you on your way today, I want to make sure and just tell you what those 6 things are that I would consider are essential strategies for you to use as you manage your COPD. First off, I'll mention education. How are you keeping up on what's going on in the world of COPD, the research, and what treatment protocols, any medications that are coming out? How are you educating yourself? Do you know the mechanisms that are involved in the disease and how it progresses? Those are things that you'll want to think about. I'll be talking about when I talk about education. Second of all, I'll be talking about your elixirs, your medications. All right, but medication doesn't begin with the letter E, so I have to change it to elixir. And I'll explain why in that video. And then in another video, I'll talk about your edibles, your eating. How can you use your nutrition in order to improve your outcomes in managing COPD? Another video I will talk about the E word, exercise. Are you staying fit, but not just staying fit? Are you doing the kind of exercise that will help your lung function, that will help you get the best possible outcomes, keep you living as normal a life as possible? We have another E word, emotions. And how are you managing your emotions? What kind of support are you getting? I'll spend a video talking about that strategy and some things and make some suggestions there of what you could do. And then finally, we'll make sure and talk about ending smoking. Most people say smoking cessation, but that doesn't begin with E. So we'll talk about that E as well. So the 6 strategies that I'm going to include in this Essentials series is going to be education and elixir, your medication, your edibles, your eating, your exercise, your emotion management, and your ending of smoking. And we'll talk about those briefly over the next few days. And I hope that you will be encouraged and inspired to take action to move forward in those areas where you could improve so you can get the best possible outcomes and breathe better so you can live better.